Hi guys, this is Shorty After, or Kevin here, the next installment of my series 12 and 7 to quit pornography. We're talking about the 12 steps and we're doing videos that are going to be 7 minutes or less. Okay? Um, Briefly, this is a less is more method. If you've been trying really hard and you've found that you are unable to quit pornography, then maybe you've been trying too hard. It's not a gimmick. In fact, just the opposite. It's just a way that's more loving, more compassionate, more accepting. Okay. Um, if you haven't seen the other videos, that's no problem. I'm going to make this sort of standalone. You don't need to watch anything else, but I will leave the link in the description if you want to watch the whole series. I've been away from this for a week or two, and some people reached out to see if I was going to continue. And um, since I did get that positive feedback, I decided to keep going, but I might go a bit slower. But I will keep putting them out for the time being, at least. Okay, so step 4 of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm using the AA program because it's the original 12-step program, but it works perfectly for pornography as well. So step 4, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. So steps 1 through 3 are talking about powerlessness, surrender, acceptance, turning our will over to a higher power. Okay, and step 4 is when we really do action. We actually sit down and think or write. This is an action step. Let me refresh you quickly with 1 through 3. Step 1, we admit we're powerless over pornography and that our lives are unmanageable because of it. So powerlessness means that we are unable to control our use, our frequency of use. Maybe we try to quit, but we can't. Maybe we try to cut down, but we can't. Maybe we say we're not going to watch at work or in front of or when our spouse is at home, but we do anyway. Powerlessness and unmanageable, severe consequences like racking up credit card debt, more subtle consequences like anxiety and depression. Step 2 and step 3, we come to believe in a higher power, and then we choose to turn our will and our lives over to that higher power. I talked about 3. I talked about God, which is like a Christian God, a Muslim God, a Hindu God. I talked about just life in general, trusting life, trusting the flow of life, trusting the universe. I talked about just very basically deciding that you've had enough and you're just going to go with the flow because you're tired of fighting. Okay, but whatever it is, now we're not running the show. Okay, we're going to just go with the flow, trust whatever we need to trust, and see what happens. Okay, so from that place of surrender, we're going to start taking action. Step 4, we take action, and we're doing it from a place of surrender, a place of acceptance. Okay, I'm actually going to cheat. I'm going to divide step 4 into 2 videos because it's very important. So let me talk about the moral inventory. I encourage you to write this stuff down, or on paper, or in a Word document or something. Or if you just want to think about it, it's totally up to you. But this is a very important step. The moral inventory. So an inventory is what a store does when it wants to take stock of the items that it has. So we're taking stock of the items that we have inside of us. So it really comes down to 3 parts. It's resentments, fears, and a sex inventory. I'm going to focus with this video on the resentments because that's very important. So we're going to think about 2 things. We're going to think about the resentments that we have. We're going to think about our part in them. Okay. So resentments, they can be against people, institutions, anything really. For example, I'm resentful towards my mother because she babied me growing up. I'm resentful towards my father because he wasn't present in my childhood. I'm resentful against the US government because they do a lot of stupid things. I'm resentful against the pornography industry because they've screwed me over with this problem. I'm resentful against women because they don't pay any attention to me. Okay, write all these things down. That's the first part, the first column. The second part, the other column, is your part in them. This can be explicit. An example I thought of was, okay, your father was not present in your childhood, but maybe my part in that is now I'm an adult And have I made efforts to reach out to him? Have I been present for my father? Well, that would be my part in it. That's kind of like a external, tangible thing. An internal and intangible thing would be, and I had this in all of them, I was demanding something from them that I was unable to give to them back. So I was demanding them to be perfect. My mother was not a perfect mother. My father was not a perfect father. Women have not treated me perfectly. But then when I think, was I a perfect son? If I'm a father, have I been a perfect father? Have I been a perfect friend? Have I been perfect in my relationships with women? So I'm demanding perfection out of people, but I'm not putting out the same thing. So it's a bit hypocritical, right? So I found that was my part in it. We'll talk about that later, but for now, think about all your resentments. Who are you angry with? Who has hurt you? Okay. You can even think about why. Well, you must think about why. I'm angry with women because they haven't given me the light of day, and that angers me because I feel sexually frustrated. Okay, you can go into it as deep as you want. Um, so write all these things down, and then write about your part in it. Think about that. And then in the next step or in the next video, we will talk about fears and we'll talk about our sex inventory. And then in step 5, we're going to share these things. Okay. Don't worry about that for now. For still with step 4, we're just going to make the list. Okay. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.